Welcome to Java. Thank you kindly for joining me. It's April 22nd, 2025. It is also Tuesday, and I want to thank those of you that are here every day supporting this channel by listening and then also by hitting that thumbs up. I truly appreciate all of you, really. So I've got the theme from yesterday to today is a scent of panic, and today a waft of green. Now we're getting earnings from Tesla later on today. And before you leave, we're also hearing from some Fed presidents, including crazy eye guy Kashkari. So don't worry about it. I'll stay with you to the end. So we're also going to hear about what is moving markets this morning prior to the market open. So let's take a quick look. The fear greed meter now still at 21. This is what it was yesterday. So, kind of a grinding out yesterday, did have a tough time in the markets and closed down towards the end of the day, trying to recover from that. As you can see, we've got the futures are showing a bit of green, probably by market opening now. This, I am going to posit, appears from the timing that it came out. Vice President Vance and Prime Minister of India Modi announced terms of reference for a bilateral trade agreement. So this is between India and the United States. This is huge news. And not long after his meeting, started watching a bit of a curl in the markets. So I believe that was a large catalyst for this, and it's continuing in a moment. So all we need for the market to feel better about this, it hates uncertainty. So if we're getting a little more announced deals, a little more certainty, we're going to watch this market rise again, especially if a large deal is announced, in particular with China. So we've got the relative strength of the United States dollar as well as the Japanese yen on watch this morning as they're moving rapidly. So, as I said, we're going to be getting earnings not just from Tesla, but also Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, as well as a few others. But these are the larger defense stocks that have been benefiting from all of the government contracts of late. So, taking a quick look at the 10-year yield now, it's down slightly from this morning, but yesterday rose back up to just under the 4.5 level again that we've been speaking about. Is this major issue for the markets. Now, I believe the Fed is stepping in and purchasing these treasuries because there has been too much manipulation happening in the past couple of days. And as I was saying yesterday, the capital is flowing to where it can find yield and safety. Now, that's risk on and risk off. It is looking for different places outside of the US dollar and outside of US debt. So it is flowing into places such as the yen, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies are up again, 88,449 at the moment, taking some of the others up with it. We'll see some of it flowing back into stock markets, although not necessarily United States stock markets. So we're watching the global markets shifting a bit with the equities. I believe emerging markets and commodities are kind of moving forward, and they're going to prove themselves a little bit more as this year goes on and as this continues. Now, with this, we've got the dollar gaining a bit of strength again this morning. And again, I believe it is on this meeting between Vice President Vance and Modi making a difference there. So, will we see markets open green? Well, I don't know, but it appears that's very high probability. Gold did hit a new all-time high, 3,500. Since then, it's retraced a bit, but it's still above the 3,400 level. So if these deals do come out or announced, it could take a little bit of a hit and go lower temporarily. Now, with the deals going on, we've got oil a bit stronger this morning, at least short term. Now, I want to clarify. These moves right now appear to be short term. The trend is still very, very weak for equities, the stock market, United States dollar and US dollar denominated assets, which includes the treasuries. Okay. So going into the calendar, as I said, we're getting Fed presidents speaking this morning, including Kashkari, going also to hear from Harker and Barkin. Now, Wednesday's really the one that's going to have any kind of reports. So you want to set up your trades as you will prior to market open tomorrow. So today, very likely only headline driven, depending on what the Fed says, and also headlines, but not a lot of reports other than some earnings. So we are hitting larger earnings. We've got a couple of market bits here for specific stocks. Now, Paul Atkins was sworn in as the SEC chair. So we're going to see some things happening with that forward in specific relating to cryptocurrencies. With this, we know the larger plan. I'm going to say this again. In particular, if you're new here, there is a major move towards not necessarily cryptocurrencies, but central bank digital currencies will replace the United States dollar and other currencies around the world. It's a question of time. So with this, we've had Circle, which was also behind Tether, some of the other USDC. Those are the stable coins, is what they call them. They're really CBDC for the United States. So those are the two main ones. And they applied for a bank charter. Now, if they get this bank charter, that's one more step in that direction towards the back end parts that actually need to come together for their implementation of the CBDC. Things are happening very rapidly, and I believe that they're getting all of this in together because the timing is working together too perfectly. Still appears like it'll probably be around the August timeframe. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows for sure other than those that have this designed, but it looks like that has a high probability. Now, we had a couple of companies. Now, BYD is the competitor, if you will, the main competitor out of China for electric vehicles to Tesla. And we've got another company coming out of China saying that they now have the edge for a 5-minute EV charging time, saying that they can get, with only 5 minutes of charge, get a vehicle to run 350 miles or possibly closer to 4. But they are in high competition. And this actually points out how things should be run in businesses. This drives innovation and it drives the kind of what we need to make markets and businesses better is this basic competition. So odd that it's coming out of China, but moving forward, we've got the FTC is now suing Uber. So they're going to look very weak this morning under deceptive practices for their new product for subscription that they've got coming out. So Uber will take a hit this morning. We've got Microsoft sending out emails to the managers. They are now detailing new policies, and this is heading towards more job cuts. So we've got the Mag 7 now, as they've been doing, this is adding to them more job weakness coming ahead. So more unemployment. I expect this to increase as this goes on. Now, quick note, those of you that like Ethereum, I'm sorry, but Solana is now the up and coming, and its nickname is the Ethereum killer. It's looking a bit strong. Now, they're known for the platform that a lot of the meme coins are built upon. However, the structure below it, Solana has very, I'll just say that it's high competition for Ethereum. A couple of other things before I let you go for the trading day. The stocks yesterday, now these are related. Yesterday, they hit, dollar hit 3-year low as Trump went at it over Powell again, saying that he's acting too late, really needs to cut the rates. Now, someone else came out and said exactly what I said yesterday, and that this whole thing is public relations ploy. It's a lot of theater and drama. And as they said, it's working. I agree with that. It is working. It is major distraction that is kind of taking everyone's attention off from what is going on in the background. This is this move to the central bank digital currency. It is also called stablecoin because that sounds much better since everybody knows what a CBDC would do. But that is in effect what we are looking at, as well as all of the other things going on. It's a lot of massive drama that they can put in front so you don't ask the real questions. Now we've got banks. This is more proof, saying that what they are calling hold laws are helping to stop elder financial abuse. Now, they say these things, so you can't really argue against them, but what this is capital controls in disguise. Now, if you read this, it says new survey shows banks overwhelmingly support state laws that let them pause transactions to prevent elder financial abuse despite shortcomings. Now, of course, you can't say that you don't want to help older people, so they're going to pass this through. Of course, banks like this because this allows them full control over transactions, regardless of what those transactions are. There are not limits put on this. So you can think of the implications of what could come forward from this of full capital controls. If you're trying to purchase something and that bank decides they don't like something about you, or all they have to do is say, oh, we think that that could constitute fraud, and you're not allowed to make that transaction. So urging major caution on things like these, are just telling us exactly what they're doing. Now, with all of this, going to the World Economic Forum, which is our favorite large controlling body of elites, their boss, Klaus Schwab, uh, the founder of all of this, has stepped down. Now, the interesting part is who is the interim, and serving as the chair at the moment is the former CEO of Nestle. And he is known for saying that water is not a basic human right, and that he had kind of cornered a lot of the water rights. There's a huge story behind this. If you would like to Google this, you can read on it more, between Nestle, the company, and water rights, and you'll see it pop up. So with all of this, I wish you all a wonderful trading day. Thank you for being with me again. And until I see you again, my friends, hopefully in the morning, stay free.